Weak is not a mother who throws herself between a boy with none of her blood and the wrath of the man who made him. Aaron wiped the blood dripping onto his lashes. Weak is a ruler who holds a match to the world and then blames it for burning. Hey to all my book lovers and fellow book dragons. We are officially in the month of August. In my home as a mother, we are getting ready to go back to school. We are slowly finishing up all of our summer activities and play dates. I have a few things planned before school starts back. We have 2 weeks until school starts back. So I have a lot to do. I've already started school shopping. We got to get the rest of our school clothes and school shoes, and so we've been very busy. So I have been a little slack on the reading in the past few weeks, but I still had a good reading month in July, and I've like redone this intro so many times. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Meredith, and welcome to my channel where we talk about all things books. We are going to be doing in today's video my reading wrap up for the month of July. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's just get right into it and let's talk about all the books that I've read in July. Let's go. Why do I say that all the time? Let's go. Like, no, let's not go. Let's not be basic. Let's just get right into it. Okay, so it has been a rainy day in my little neck of the woods. I'm so ready for fall, you guys. Fall is my favorite season, and I am so ready for it, especially with the kids going back to school. The only reason I love summer is because my kids are out of school during the summer. I am not a summer girly. I do not like the heat, and it gets so hot here, hot and humid. And I love all things sweaters and hoodies, and I'm not a summer girly. So now that my kids are going back to school, I am so ready for fall. Ready to decorate for fall, ready for the coolness of fall, ready for all the fall reading vibes and the spooky season and just all of it. Pumpkin spice, pumpkins, everything nice. Anyway, back to July in the summer. We are going to talk about all the books that I read in July, and I have my reading TBR, what do we call this? What is this again? It's my reading journal. There we go. There we go. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to, I haven't decided, do I want to do the stats before? I think I want to do the stats before we discuss each and every book. I read a total of 6 books in July. I am currently reading 3, but we will get to that at the end of this video. So I currently finished 6 books. 5 of those books were physical books from the library, and one of those was an ebook. And my favorite book, we'll not do that yet. We'll do those at the end. We'll do my favorite book and my least favorite book at the end of the video, and we'll talk about my favorite quote at the end of the video. So those are the only stats I really have to tell you, is 6 books read, 5 were physical, 1 was an ebook. Okay, I'm just trying to not be weird and to be able to talk calmly and not awkward. And maybe that's just who I am. Maybe this is just who I am. I watched some of the things on my videos and I'm like, oh, am I really that awkward? Or am I really that ditzy sometimes? And my husband's like, yes. Wow. Yes, you are. Anyway. The first book in July that I completed was The Jasad Crown by Sarah Hesham. I rated this book 4 stars. This was the second book in a duology that I do not even remember what the duology is called. So I will just pop up the first book right here so y'all can see it. But it's an Egyptian romantasy. It's definitely a lot of I'd say more so fantasy than romance, but there is a romance subplot. There's a lot of politics, war in this duology. There's a lot of world building. The magic system is beautiful. I absolutely loved this duology. The only thing that I would say that I wish I would have done was I wish I would have read both books closer together. But the second book, obviously, like, I think I had like a year in between reading these books, and I really didn't have that much of an issue with the author. Did a really good job of helping you remember, or either I just have a good memory, either way, I don't know. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. I liked the romance more so in the second book than in the first. It was good, but at the end, I just had an issue at the end where I just felt like, and this doesn't have to do with the second book, but with the first book, I just felt like our MMC kind of fell flat. But I think that was kind of on purpose, because you really don't know anything about the MMC and his backstory until you get into the second book and you see why he is the way he is, why he's so separate from everyone, and his heart is only for the FMC, and they're not even allowed to be together. So it was a really beautiful story, a really beautiful romance subplot. The ending, I did not hate the ending. Now, I could see why some people could possibly hate the ending, because the ending really felt like it could, let's see, I don't even know how to really, I can't think of the words, so I don't want to say. The ending, you really had to just like come up with what you thought could possibly have happened at the end. I mean, it was still, in my opinion, a happy ending, but that's the only criticism I really have. The 4-star, I do feel like at points some things would bog you down, but it wasn't in a bad way. It just wasn't fast paced with the plot, and everything made sense all the way to the end. The second book that I read in the month of July was Release Me by Tahereh Mafi. This is the second book in a trilogy of I don't know if we would call it a spin-off or just it's in the same universe as the Shatter Me series. And we're following the Shatter Me series characters, but they're adults, and our main character is the younger brother of Aaron Warner. So my issue with the second book was a really quick and easy read. It is YA, and I read it in like 2 days, but I felt like the plot fell a little flat for me. I feel like we didn't really go anywhere in the second book. Nothing really happened. I honestly was not satisfied with the ending either. I just felt like the ending was not needed. The ending was not needed, in my opinion. So I do not feel like this trilogy makes me feel the way the Shatter Me series made me feel. Now, the only reason that I still choose to love this is because of the Shatter Me series. Even the romance just kind of felt, and I get it, it is YA, so the romance did kind of feel YA to me, and it could have just been the mood that I was in as well, so that's not fair to the book, but I just wasn't feeling it with this book. I gave this 3.75 stars because it just was not a 4-star read. And the only reason that it got what it got was because of the Shatter Me series and the love I have for that series and the love that I have for these characters and the world. So with that in mind, I do hope that the third book is going to come out and be really, really awesome, and we'll have a really awesome finish to this trilogy. Then we read The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This was a surprisingly fun read. I just randomly found this book at the library, had no idea what this book was even about, had not ever seen any reviews on this book. And this is a series, and I absolutely loved this book. This is like the mood that I'm in. There was no romance. I mean, there was the tiniest bit of romance at the end of the book. And I'm sure that the romance is gonna carry over into more of the books later on. I'm hoping that it's gonna be like a true slow burn, because that's my favorite, but we shall see. But anyway, I loved the magic system in this. I loved the world building. I loved our FMC and our MMC. Our FMC was definitely like, it was just a breath of fresh air. Like, she just took control of her own life, and there was no like pity me this and that. I could feel that way just because of the book I'm reading right now, but we'll get into that. But I just absolutely love this book. I thought it was a beautiful story. The fantasy was amazing to me. So you're following an FMC who's clairvoyant. So you're not supposed to be clairvoyant. So when they find out that you have this gift, they either kill you or you have to go into their military to try to, because if you're clairvoyant, you can see that other people's auras are clairvoyant. And so you have to capture all the clairvoyant people, which clairvoyancy, if you don't know what it is, it's when you can speak with, interact with, see the afterlife, and you're involved in all of that area. But our FMC, she is a dream walker. I think that's what they call her in the book. And she can go into the dreamscape, and she can go into your mind, into your dreams. And I don't want to spoil anything, but so she's able to do detrimental things to other people by jumping into your dreamscape. So that's where the FMC, that's our world that we are in. And our FMC has to figure out what she wants to do with her being clairvoyant. When she uses her powers, she's literally breaking the law. So this was such a good, fun read, and I would highly recommend it. I gave this 4 stars. The beginning was a tad slow, but I don't mind a slow start if it all ends up making sense and you just have to build up to understand the whole story as a whole. For my next read, I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is a trilogy. It's a YA. I would not say this is a romantasy, but it is a fantasy. And there was zero romance in this first book. I do think that there will be romance in the second one, and I do believe that there is obviously going to be a subplot. Like, you can tell the author's leaning towards there's going to eventually be romance, but there was no romance in the first book. So if you are wanting romance, do not read The Cruel Prince. But it was a lot of fun, a lot of politics. We're following our FMC, who is a human in the Fae worlds, and she wants to live her life with the Fae, but she does not want to live her life in fear. She wants to become a knight for the prince, but her stepfather will not allow it. So we just go on that journey with her as she figures things out. The MMC is the prince, and he's definitely a cruel prince. Like, that's literally the title of the book. And he's a bully, and he's mean to her. And that part I ate up. I thought that was so much fun because she was not taking it. She was giving it right back, which was so great. I did give this 4.5 stars just because, and it is YA, so obviously this is going to come with the territory, but I did feel like the characters were a little childish at times, and but that's okay because that's a YA, and that's good that it's like that, but that's why I gave this 4.5 stars. The 5th book that I read in July was Summer Fridays by Suzanne Rendell. I, at first, gave this 5 stars, but then after I sat with it, I decided 4 stars, 4.5. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars, and because the next book that I'm going to tell you that I read right after I read Summer Fridays was a 5-star read, and so that's why I decided to give this 4 stars, because this does have a cheating trope in it, but it was still a fun read. And I will say that when I go to read a book, I read a book for fiction, for the fun of it not being real. Just like people who read dark romance and all the tropes in the dark romance area. I am not the biggest I've never even read a dark romance. So when I say that the cheating trope, by no means do I recommend, or do I, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Crap. Promote. We're going to say that. Promote cheating. Like, I don't think you should cheat, especially when you're married. Now, they were engaged. The romance was very messy, but it was a fun read, and I had fun with it. And that's really what reading is for, is to have an escape from your life. And it's fiction, it's not real, and it was fun. And so I gave it 4 stars. And I will go into more detail with Summer Fridays on my summer reading blog as soon as that gets posted. My 6th book for the month was Happy Place by Emily Henry. This, you guys, this was so good. Emily Henry, I have rated all of Emily Henry's books so far 5 stars. The only one I haven't read, I think it's like The Big Beautiful Life or The Great Beautiful Life or something like that. I need to read that book because I'm sure at this point, 5 stars for everything. I loved this book and this story. And I go into so much more detail in the summer reading vlog, so I'm not gonna say too much, but it was just so beautiful. It was literally it was like a second chance romance, kind of. It was about 2 FMC and an MMC. They were engaged. They were together for years. They broke it off, and like within 5 to 6 months, they get back. They have to get together with their group of friends for one last summer, and they have to fake that they're still engaged. And so like they're still in love with each other. And so it's not even like a second chance romance. It's just such a beautiful story of love from a long-term relationship. Because when you're with someone and you're with someone for a really long time, like things can get comfortable and they're not as new and they're not as exciting. But this story Emily Henry did such a beautiful job of making two people that were already in love, like almost feel like they're falling in love all over again. It was just so beautiful. 5 stars all the way. So those are the 6 books that I read in the month of July. Let's see. So my favorite book for the month was obviously Happy Place by Emily Henry, and my least favorite was Release Me. And then I have a quote one of my favorite quotes. So this was like really good to me anyway. But so, weak is not a mother who throws herself between a boy with none of her blood and the wrath of the man who made him. Aaron wiped the blood dripping onto his lashes. Weak is a ruler who holds a match to the world and then blames it for burning. So I thought that was really good. And that was by the Jasad Crown author Sarah Hashem, page 463. Weak is not a mother who throws herself between a boy with none of her blood and the wrath of the man who made him. Aaron wiped the blood dripping onto his lashes. Weak is a ruler who holds a match to the world and then blames it for burning. I just had to say that twice. So anyway, so that was my monthly reading wrap up for the month of July. I am currently reading 3 books. I am still reading Lady of Darkness. I haven't even picked it back up since the early beginning of July, because I had books I needed to read from the library that had to be returned. I'm currently reading Duskbound, the second book in the Esprithian trilogy. You guys, I am on 40%, and it has taken 40% for me to get into it. Like, I feel like things are starting to pick up. I don't know. I have not been happy with this book, which was it is a disappointment, because I was super excited for this book. But I will say that in the end of the first book, the FMC was starting to become insufferable a little bit, and I didn't like her with the main character that it just felt so rushed. And so corny, honestly. And then her attitude all the way up until now in Duskbound at 40% has been she's so whiny. She is so demanding. She is just like, she just acts like a child. And I mean, this is an adult fantasy, and I don't know how old she's supposed to be, but she's got to be in her 20s. She acts like she's a teenager sometimes. It's just, she has annoyed me. And the story's just, nothing's really happened except that she's just whiny. And we've literally just been waiting for her to make a decision on what she wants to do to help this other realm. So we're finally at that place. I feel like things are picking up, but it is taking me, I mean, I have been reading this for like a week because I have not wanted to pick it up. I have not wanted to read it. And that's what's been lingering with why I haven't been reading as much. So I decided, which is my third book, I decided to start The Clockwork Angel. That is a library book and it needs to be returned here soon. And so I really wanted to get that done because it was on my July TBR and it just never got read, and I really want to read it. So I started it, and it took me forever to read the prologue because of the insanity of my household last night. So hopefully I can read some more of that today. And then at nighttime, I will be reading on my phone because Duskbound is on my phone, on my Hoopla account. And that's what I'm saying. Like normally, especially on your phone, on the Hoopla account, I just like swipe constantly because the pages are so small that you just read it so fast. And I usually get through them so fast, but no, this is taking me forever. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to continue to read this at nighttime so I don't wake my husband up. And then during the day, read a physical book or just something else that I really want to read so that I can get some reading done. Because as of right now, I have not read constantly in about a week and a half. So that's where I'm at with my reading. 3 books out and then 6 books completed. I seriously considered DNFing Duskbound, but then I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. I can just read it at nighttime and eventually get it finished because because everyone talks so much good about The Ascended, and they say, like, especially if you're like a reader that wants all the Easter eggs and all the little things, that if you read the first 2 first, that it hits even harder when you read Ascended. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, so that is about it. That is my monthly wrap up, and I was really blabbering at the beginning of the video, so hopefully it all just turned out great. And if you like videos like this, then please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below on what have you read for recently, the last few months, whatever favorite books of yours. Hopefully in the next few weeks I'm going to be having some reading vlogs posted. I'm super nervous because I've never done that before, and I hope I'm not like missing big chunks of things. Hopefully it all just runs smoothly, but bear with me, I'm learning and we'll figure this out together. So anyway, I love you guys and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. I look forward to seeing you in my next one. And I think I'm gonna like change my closing. I don't know. We're going to see. But normally I just say bye. Bye. And I think I want to do like a swipe, like if it works. But if it doesn't, then I'll just say bye. And then it'll just click off. Okay. So I'll see you in my next one.